Welcome back. In the first proof we did today and key skill 1, we learned all about the equation of the circle. We learned that the equation of the circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to the radius squared. And we learned that that relates back to the fact that the distance from the center to the outside, the circumference of the circle, is always equal to the radius. So we use the distance formula to prove that. Now, in the previous key skill, we looked at equations and we compared them to this formula to work out what the center and the radius was. Now, in this key skill, we're going to be doing exactly the same thing, but we're going to have slightly more complicated equations to work for, because in these equations, the brackets have been multiplied out, and you're going to need to know how to complete the square to solve these. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about this as 2 mini complete the square problems. So if I copy and paste this over here, I'm going to take my plus 16 to the other side and change it to a minus 16. That's the first thing. And I'm going to rearrange this into 2 mini problems. So I've got my x's here. I'm going to complete the square here. And I'm going to complete the square a second time on the y's. Okay, so let's start with the x's. Now to complete the square, I need to halve the minus 10. So that would give me minus 5. And then I need to subtract 25. If that's too fast for you, please go back and rewatch the complete the square videos. I'm going to halve the minus 8 to get minus 4. And I'm going to subtract 16. And at the moment, that's all equal to minus 16. So you see, I'm rewriting it in this form so I can compare it to my circle formula, because once my expressions is in brackets, it's really easy for me to find the h, the k for the center, and the r. So I'm going to move all the numbers to one side. So I have minus 16 plus 16 plus 25. They will cancel out. So I'll have x minus 5 squared plus y minus 4 squared is equal to 25, which happens to be 5 squared. So now it's in the same format as my circle formula. Just write it below. I can easily see that the center of my circle, HK, must be 5, 4, and my radius needs to be 5. You could also do it as r squared is 25, and then take the square root. Let's look at another example. Here the difference is that we've got 16s in front of the x squared and the y squared. So first of all, I would divide across by 16. We have lots of fractions, so that goes 3 times. I'm going to put the 3 on the other side. Okay, and once again, I'm going to split this and make this into 2 mini problems myself. The x's are one problem, and the y's are another problem. So for 3, I need to divide it by 2. And I need to back substitute 3 over 2 squared. So minus 9 over 4. For the y's, I need to divide this by 2, or sometimes it's easier to think about it as times by a half. So 5 over 2 times by a half would be 5 over 4 squared. Then I would be subtracting 25 over 16. Put all the numbers to one side, so I have 9 over 4 plus 25 over 16 plus 3 over 16. So the common denominator would be 16. You can already see that would be 28 over 16. I'd need to times this by 4. And then you need to add 36 and 28. Okay, to get the center, now we know that the center must be 3 over 2 and minus 5 over 4. And the radius must be the square root of 54 over 16. Or we already had square root 54 today. Square root of 16 is 4, and that was 3 square root 6. You can check it. 54, 16. Like that. That's done. So the technique is, if you've been given an equation that's been expanded, like the brackets have been multiplied out, you need to convert that into 2 mini complete the square problems and move the number to the other side. Once you've got it down in the back in the brackets, it's easy to compare it using the formula that we've already been working with. In the previous 2 key skills, we've been given the equation for the circle and we've been asked to find information. In the next key skill, we're going to be doing it the other way around, which means we're going to be given information and we're going to be asked, what is the equation of that circle? So I will see you guys. You have a little break. Now we've already done 3 videos, right? I will see you in key skill 3, where we will be continuing equations of a circle.